Is this thing on? Alright guys, so it's going to be a little bit different of a video that you're used to seeing on this channel, but I thought it was really important given the fact we're about to lose one of the most iconic properties on all of Las Vegas Strip next week. As you've all heard by now, the Mirage will be closing on July 17th, 2024. This one hurts. Now, we did already lose the Tropicana earlier this year. I will admit that one didn't hit as hard, but I still hate seeing Vegas history disappear right before our eyes. The Mirage opened on November 22nd, 1989 by developer Steve Wynn. Yes, as in the Wynn. Now, I won't go through all the history of the Mirage, as I'm sure you've heard it on like many other videos before, but the Mirage really was responsible for starting the big boom of like the mega resorts on the Las Vegas Strip. So why is the Mirage closing? Long story short, MGM Resorts was the last owner of the Mirage and decided to sell the operations to Hard Rock in December of 2021. Now here's another sad part. The Mirage is known for its volcano, which erupts 4 times a night, weather permitting. Well, this is set to be torn down to make way for a giant guitar-shaped hotel. This actually breaks my heart, as the Mirage volcano was always on my list of things to see whenever I was in Las Vegas. I've lost count of how many times I've seen the eruption. I always made a point to go and see this, especially with the news of the Mirage's closure. I just never knew when it would be the last time. Fortunately, during my last trip in April, we got to see it 2 more times, but I definitely didn't think it would be my last. I do have a video of the full eruption on my channel, which I'll link below, in case you never got to see it in person, or if you just feel like watching it for old time's sake. You've heard me talk about this on my channel many times before, but my Vegas journey started in 2010. My family had been trying to get me to go to Vegas for years, but I just imagined this row of dingy, smoky casinos, and I couldn't imagine spending a week there. Finally, I agreed to go, and my first hotel in Las Vegas was the Palazzo. Talk about starting things on a high note. I fell in love with Sin City instantly. I was really fortunate that my family were such seasoned Vegas veterans and took me to all the must-see things on the Strip at the time. The pirate fight in front of Treasure Island, RIP. The lions at MGM Grand, RIP. Well, not the lions themselves, but I did hear they moved to a sanctuary, but you know, the attraction itself, RIP. The Bellagio Conservatory and the fountains, which currently are still there, as of recording this video anyway. And of course, the iconic Mirage Volcano. I mean, there were countless others, but those are the ones that definitely stuck to my mind the most for my first trip at least. And then when I started going to Vegas with my friends, I became the Vegas veteran that started showing all these must-see attractions, plus new ones I discovered during my travels. Anyway, back to the Mirage. I was about 10 years old when National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation came out, and I must have watched that movie like 100 times when I was a kid. It's still ranked as one of my favorite movies of all time, and something I love to watch before I go on my Vegas vacation. Of course, if you've seen this movie, you know it primarily takes place in the Mirage. If you haven't seen this movie, I strongly urge you to go and watch it. We quote this movie all the time, especially when we're in Vegas. Like if we're at the airport or we see a limousine go by, we always have to say,
Clark, a limo.
or if we're at a buffet, we always have to bust out,
Well, have some of the yellow, and don't get cheap on me.
If you have any other favorite movies, drop them below. I mean, there's Showgirls, What Happens in Vegas, The Hangover, plus all the other like mob-related movies are definitely some of my favorites, but let me know below if I'm missing any. Anyway, after my first trip, I continued to go once, twice, 3 times, even more a year. And I always have my go-to things and places I need to see and do when I'm in Vegas. The Mirage is always a must for me. Just walking through the doors and smelling that familiar tropical scent, seeing the beautiful atrium in the middle there just always brings me back to my first time in Vegas. Now, of course, we have lost some of what makes the Mirage, well, the Mirage. Siegfried and Roy are probably the 2 biggest names you think of when you think of the Mirage. Now, there is still a statue outside the property, which I'm hoping they're going to keep, but I have a feeling its days are numbered. If they do get rid of it, I hope they take it somewhere like the Neon Museum, where at least it can still be appreciated. Unfortunately, the 2 did stop performing at the Mirage in 2003 after Roy Horn was unfortunately attacked by one of their tigers. Their Siegfried and Roy Secret Garden did live on until it was unfortunately closed in 2022. Going back to being my friend's Vegas tour guide, this is one place I used to love bringing them to. Back when Mirage was still part of MGM, we used to use their My Vegas discounts to get 2-for-1 tickets or free passes, and it was the perfect way to save a few bucks, get away from the hustle and bustle of the Las Vegas Strip, and just enjoy this, oasis in the desert. You could see dolphins doing tricks, you could see, lions and tigers and other wildlife. I must have gone here at least 5 times, and I made sure to go back in 2022, as I figured its days were probably numbered with the incoming Hard Rock takeover. I did actually make a video of that last visit, which I will link below if you want to check it out. Unfortunately, after that visit, a number of their dolphins began getting sick and some even passed away. They did eventually decide to relocate the rest of the animals. I believe some of the tigers actually went to where the tigers from MGM ended up, going to that sanctuary, and unfortunately they did decide to close the secret garden. Now the land has been completely demolished, and it's going to be set to make way for the Hard Rock Pool Complex. Another must-see at the Mirage was the Cirque du Soleil show Beatles Love, which unfortunately played its last show on July 7th, 2024. The show actually opened on June 30th, 2006, and is said to have played in front of 11.5 million guests. This one also really hurt it. It was actually one of my favorite Cirque du Soleil shows. I myself have seen it about 3 times, and I made sure to see it when I was there in 2022, as I figured again, its days were numbered, and I didn't know how much time it had left. I made a video of my experience at that show, which I will link below if you want to check that out. Sadly enough, they actually did announce that July 7th would be the last show while I was in Vegas in April. We did try our best to try and squeeze in to see the show one more time, but honestly our schedule was just jam-packed and we unfortunately just couldn't do it. But I am thankful for the 3 times I did get to see it. When I was there in April though, I was speaking to one of the employees there. She said her son actually worked in the theater and said that they would be tearing the theater down, and that would basically be where all the electronics and the transformers and everything for the guitar-shaped hotel were going to be. Anyway, let me know in the comments if you saw the show and what you thought of it. Me personally, I still think it would fit in at the Hard Rock with the whole theme of it being Beatles music and everything, but either way, I hope it makes a comeback, whether it's at Hard Rock or at another location on the Las Vegas Strip. Now let's talk about the gorgeous Mirage pool. Now, as I mentioned, this pool was absolutely stunning. Now, I did find out the hard way that it wasn't heated when I visited there in August 2022, but honestly, when you're at like over 100-degree weather, it's kind of okay. Mirage easily had one of my favorite pools to hang out with. It felt like a tropical oasis with the palm trees and the waterfalls, and it was just a beautiful place to hang out. I actually did do a video about the Mirage pool, which I will link below if you guys want to check out what it looked like before. I understand Hard Rock will be tearing it down completely and making a much bigger pool complex, which I'm curious to see, but I'm still gutted to see that they're going to get rid of the Mirage's iconic pool, and they better still serve Dole Whips. Now, of course, the hotel. The Mirage wasn't known for having the most iconic or glamorous, beautiful hotel rooms, but they did hold up pretty well over the years. I had never stayed there before, and I really wanted to make sure we did before it changed hands to the Hard Rock, so we did that for my birthday, August 2022. Honestly, the staff were all amazing and all went above and beyond. When they found out it was my birthday, they upgraded our room to this enormous suite. They put these like candies and bottles of waters in my room, and even wrote me like this handwritten card, basically, wishing me a happy birthday, having a good stay. Really went above and beyond, and really made me feel special for my birthday. Now, if you're curious to check out our room or what our experience was like at the Mirage, I do have a video for that as well, which I will link below, so make sure you go check that one out. My only wish is that I got to stay at the Mirage another time, because as much as I love hanging out there, I only did stay there the one time. The casino. Now, we all have our favorites, and for some reason Mirage's casino was one that we just loved to stay and play in. Like, we would spend hours in there playing games that they didn't really have in other hotels and whatnot. So we would play, Willy Wonka, we'd play Family Guy, we played this weird Halloween game, and we played there for hours. We never struck it rich there. I mean, maybe we won a few $100 here and there, but I mean, we always had fun trying, and that's all that really matters. Do you guys remember when hotels had cards that you could win at the slot machines? You don't really see that so much besides a couple places on like Fremont Street. So I remember the Mirage, when I would go there, they had this like red Audi that I would sit there and play the machines and try and win. Like I thought it was Nick Papagiorgio or something. Spoiler alert, I never did have my driving off into the sunset moment at the end though. Now, I haven't forgot about their restaurants. I used to love the buffet cravings. The food was okay, but they had unlimited beer and wine, and it taught me a valuable lesson that when it comes to unlimited food and unlimited drinks, you really have to commit to one or the other. Now, I never did get to make a proper review there, but if you guys are looking for Mirage food content, I do have videos at restaurants like Diablo's Cantina, Snacks, Heritage Steak, and Toro Roboto Grill. And of course, I'll leave a link down the bottom for you guys. Now, this one's going to be a little controversial, but if you're a Kardashian fan, and yes, I'm guilty, you'll know that this used to be one of their favorite places to stay and play. They always seem to be celebrating somebody's birthday at the now closed One Oak, which I actually got to check out in 2019 at Matt Goss' party, where I met the gorgeous Debbie Gibson. And do you guys remember that Kardashian Chaos store that was by the pool area? Anyway, just one of those anecdotal memories I had to throw in. Anyway, thank you guys so much for going down memory lane. I know there's so much I've missed, and there's going to be stuff that pops in my head after I make this video, which is going to drive me crazy, but there's just too much to mention. I mean, the Mirage has been around for so long. I've had so many experiences there, and like I said, I'm sure I'm forgetting something. Please leave your Mirage memories below too. I love reading your guys' comments. Like, let me know, your first time staying there, anything that pops to mind. If you won a jackpot there, you had a great meal there, you got married there, you proposed to there, you broke up, anything. Just let me know some of your big Mirage memories. Let's keep the memory of the Mirage alive with our stories. Now, all that being said, the Hard Rock is set to open in July of 2027. That's if everything goes as scheduled, which means that place is going to be sitting empty beside some construction workers for over 3 years. But I'm curious, what are your thoughts? Are you excited for the Hard Rock to open, or are you going to miss the Mirage? Are you team, keep Vegas history alive, or team out with the old and in with the new? Anyway, I'm sure I've missed stuff, and that's what you guys are here for. So if I have missed anything, please be sure to leave any of your questions, comments, anything below. It's really helpful to other travelers because they probably have the same thoughts that you guys do. It's also really helpful for me because any interaction you guys have with my videos, whether you're liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, it all helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you're not subscribed, I'd really appreciate if you consider subscribing to the channel as well. There's a button down there, totally free for you, and it really helps me keep delivering this free content to you. Once again, this has been Daniel with Spotlight. Viva Las Vegas. Long live the Mirage. And thank you for the memories.